A video taken by the BBC Planet Earth team showed the stunning behavior of a polar bear that no one has ever seen before. After several days of fruitless hunting, the hungry bear tried to attack a group of walruses, which are giants in comparison to itself. The reason? The Arctic sea ice is quickly disappearing due to global warming, making it hard for the polar bears to reach their regular seal prey. Basically, the desperate behavior of the polar bear is strong evidence that the consequences of burning fossil fuels are quickly approaching us. That's why I believe that we should stop using fossil fuels now and start generating renewable clean energy from resources such as solar, wind, and water. Fossil fuels are fuels formed by natural processes such as anaerobic decomposition of buried dead organisms. Fossil fuels typically include things like coal, oil, and natural gas. Fossil fuels have been drilled or mined, then burned to produce heat and electricity or refined for use as transportation fuel. It seems that fossil fuels are an ideal energy source, so why do we need to stop using them? This is because the burning of fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and other toxic materials which cause pollution, a major contributor to global warming, destructs landforms and ecosystems, and harms human health. The problem started in around 1900 to 1950, which was also known as the Industrial Revolution. From there, fossil fuel consumption skyrocketed. World consumption of primary energy has greatly increased from 3.8 billion tons of oil equivalent in 1965 to 11.1 billion tons of oil equivalent in 2007, making it a major global issue. I will explain that later in more detail. Using fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide, which is the major cause of global warming. According to a newly released U.S. government report in May 2014, scientists now have become more confident that human activity, specifically the burning of fossil fuels, has driven most of the global warming in the past 50 years. This shocking graphic shows where temperatures would be based on natural warming versus where they are when you combine natural plus human factors. The report also found that the average U.S. temperature has increased by 1.9 degrees Fahrenheit since 1895 and will become as much as 10 degrees Fahrenheit higher by the end of the century. The rising temperatures cause the melting of the polar ice caps, making it harder for the animals such as polar bears showed in the previous video to survive. As you can see here, this is a simulation of how scientists believe global warming will affect Arctic ice. It also results in higher sea levels. As the oceans become warmer, extreme weather like hurricanes will become even more intense and severe. Researchers have shown that toxic wastes from burning fossil fuels can cause coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath, as well as much more severe health problems such as heart disease and lung cancer. Coal mining such as mountaintop removal destroys vast amounts of land, causing significant damages to the ecosystem and affects the local air and water quality. As the global demand for oil increases exponentially and the conventional petroleum oil becomes rare and more expensive, industries and governments around the world are pushing to develop even dirtier ways to get fuels, such as tar sands, oil shale, and coal to liquid. In the U.S., tar sand mining and extraction is responsible for the destruction of huge amounts of the Canadian forest ecosystem. Though there is some disagreement as to when we're going to run out of fossil fuels, many scientists think a good guess is around 2088. However, there is no doubt that the planet will run out of them at some point. Because fossil fuels are non-renewable, once they are gone, they are gone. Fossil fuel industries argue that renewable energy is a more expensive way of producing energy. However, the truth is, right now, renewable energy is actually already cheaper than coal. For example, a unit of electricity from Eskom's new coal plants will cost about 97 cents, while a unit of electricity from renewable energy will only cost 89 cents. The fossil fuel industries also argue that the renewable energy resources won't be able to meet their needs. For example, the solar panels won't be able to provide electricity during the night. The key for solving this kind of problem is to get a constant supply of electricity from a mix of renewable resources: solar, wind, geothermal, and hydropower. As the sun goes down, the wind production generally increases, and as the wind drops in one region, they pick up in another. By having a mix of sources which are spread over a wide area, we will ensure there is always a supply of energy. The Earth doesn't just belong to us, but to the next generations and all other living entities too. What we do today can have a great impact on tomorrow. So let's stop using fossil fuels and convert to clean, sustainable energy sources. By working together, we can find a solution to this looming global crisis and leave a bright future for everyone.